Glory and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who does lead and rule well. I want to say salutations and shalom to all you hopeful elect Akim pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And sincere shalom also to you Akim and Aqua for listening and learning, preparing ourselves here in these last days. And to the entire household of faith, fighting this good fight of faith, I want to say shalom. This is your brother Quar from the DC camp. Come back at you with another lesson. And I'm entitled this one, Run That Ye May Obtain. Alright? As you can see on the screen, you can see somebody either, preparing for a race because you don't see a lot of people around them, or, just training, and then he got to the finish line, right? So, we got to liken this race that we in, this life that we live into a race, like a marathon even, and before the actual marathon, you train for it. Okay. So in 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, which I'm going to start with, that's pretty much what Paul pretty much is saying that, he's likening, he's telling the church, those believers such as we are, to go about this thing of ours, the life that we live in, with that same fire, with that same intensity, with that same dedication, as you need to, as if you was training for a race or any profession. At that same dedication that you would have had to sports. You got brothers used to play ball, and you was like, I would have been this and this and that. If these things will happen. Well, we got this opportunity right now in front of us to become even greater than what you could have been in that realm. So pursuing your spiritual gifts, pursuing this crown, all right, you got to carry that same intensity, that same dedication, man, as you would, or as these athletes do that become great in their profession, man. But this is our profession, so this lesson is simply just a lesson on, focusing on that, man. Discipline, perseverance, because you're gonna need that too. Now, just striving to finish, man, for that ultimate prize. Now, what prompted me or motivated me to do this video, or inspired is the word that I was looking for to do this video, was last week my daughter had to do a what do they call it, 5K, I think 3 miles. Some girls, they running thing, and then the parents, the mothers had to run with them, for the most part, and it was mainly just finishing that race, man. And you can see all the kids, they was kind of frustrated, tired. Parents is so sore afterwards, because it's a work, But then you got these marathons, they running even way longer distances, man. And you gotta have a lot of mental, discipline to do that, and then finish at the top. You know how much you had to train, to do that. Or these athletes, to be the best in their profession, you know how much hours and much time they gotta put in. And we see those examples with our apostles, man. All these years in it, and they just still going strong. You gotta look at them and be like, dang. What more can you be doing? Especially we coming in our youth. If you got that same love for this thing, as these people do for what they love, that profession, or and look at the apostles. The scripture say, "Mark the perfect man." That's why we give them double honors, man. So, I ain't even get the scripture. I'm just going into it. This is 1 Corinthians 9:24. It says, "Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain." All right. So everybody gonna run the race, but only one gonna get that actual prize, man. So what else? Our main goal, for real, is not just to run in the race, but to finish it, man. You know, to finish it. So we got to keep our mind on that. You know, what are the things that we have to do to, it said run that we have, that we may obtain, meaning to finish. Run to win. You know, we trying to win. If you want to be one of the 144,000, you know what type of effort that's going to take. You think you can just do the bare minimum and you're going to become one of those men? You know, or when you're going through different trials and things like that, you can't let that shake you, because it's only going to get a lot worse. So you just go through it, trust in the Lord, and you see how the Lord moves. Then you're going to have your faith built up for these times to come. So you just got to go through these different things, man. But when it says run that you may obtain, like, I'm trying to get a different, it just says run to win. It was something else. I should have wrote it down. Sorry. Yeah, but it ain't just to participate, man. We want to finish it. We want to get to the end. See, a lot of these guys, they want to be Israelites. They participating, but are they really focused on winning? A lot of them don't even understand what it pertains, what goes into that, what we're gonna have to go through, because they wanna push off the MOTB, what we say it is, the C hip, okay? They wanna say it's no Jacob's trouble, whatever. You wanna get run away from the persecution, so you include all the other nations, like whatever the hell you trying to do, man. You know, or they monogamy over incorporate the woman into it. You know, these different things can hinder you, man. You know, so you gotta be able to discipline yourself in these things, and you know, Lord's will, I can get everything, because we got to go to camp, you know, that I'm thinking and trying to get it out. This is Hebrews 12 verse 1. It says Yahushua he's our ultimate example. It says, wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race set before us. You know? So, wait. That's going into that self-control, that training, man. You know? I'm going to try to get a different version. All right, CSB, it says, therefore, since we also have such a large cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us lay aside every hindrance and the sin that so easily ensnares us. Let us run with endurance the race that lies before us. You know, and you striving for the mastery, you got to be temperate. That's what it says. I'm gonna get that. Well, we did get that. I gotta keep. I wanted to get that word temperate. Matter of fact, let me see here. Where is this? Oops. Be forgetting I'm on my iPad, you know. Oh, it's not my song. So like it. Modest, forbearing, self-restrained. You see that? Not swayed by passion. It says also in reference to climate, so seasons not liable to excessive heat or cold, restrained, regulated, limited. Meaning, hey, you don't get too high, you don't get too low. You know, you calm, you steady. It says restraint imposed on oneself. That's another lesson I'm gonna get into. Self-control, though, moderate with regard to indulgence. So if you got certain things, look, you got short-tempered disposition, give way to anger. But if you got something that you know that ain't good for you, that hindering you. You gotta have the discipline enough to stay away from it. Again, you running that race, you gotta meet a certain weight. You can't eat certain things, man. You gotta stay away from these things. Then you gotta have the discipline. And look, you gotta have self-control to avoid different distractions and sins that's just going to hinder your progress, your spiritual progress. But then you got to have the discipline to, let's say, going into a race, you got to train, you got to get up at and it's not optional. It's not optional. You got to do what you have to do. Like, hey, doing these videos, these things aren't optional. Looking at the new, being into reading the word, these things aren't optional in order for you to obtain. So you have to discipline yourself like as if you was running a race. You got to get up early. You got to train. This is our training. You can't neglect the training. You got to build these spiritual habits up, man. I'm talking to myself first and foremost, but I'm gonna go back to 1 Corinthians because it says, "Run that you may attain." Verse 25. "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth for air, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I preach to others, I myself will be a castaway." So it's saying, Paul's saying this is how he's at the level that he was at. Yeah, he put certain things under subjection, so that he don't be casted out. So you got to be disciplined, okay, in this thing, And the ultimate goal is to when the Lord comes, you be found faithful, And this is a part of him getting to the end, right? This is 2 Timothy 4:6. "For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought the good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith." Because it's about winning, getting to the end, whether that be death or whether that be when the Lord comes and you meet him in the air. Lord's will. But that's the end, receiving the end of our faith, and then we can get crowned up. It says, "Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness." All right, that's what we're trying to get, that incorruptible crown, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, that crowning day, man. We know it. All right, and not to me only, but unto all of them also that love his appearing, because that's when it's gonna come, at the appearing of Yahushua. And we want that for all the brothers, man. So this is why we gotta exhort brethren. We gotta encourage brothers. Keep going, man. You see your brother slipping, that's why you gotta be watching. You got to know the state of your flock, but you see brothers slipping, hey, bro, you encouraging them, because we want to get there, but you got to do the things that's necessary. That's why the scriptures go into like that tough love. What else do I want to grab? Just staying focused. Let me get Philippians. Philippians 3:13. It says, "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before." So we ain't saying that we know we ain't make it. We ain't make it yet. But as we in this race, these are the things that we doing. You gotta listen. The thing that's holding you back, your old world, you got to put those things forget those things. Different accolades you might have had in the world, forget those things. So this is it. We don't, think about what could have, but you got to focus on what you got in front of you, man. And that's why he says, and reaching forth to those things which are before, Now this is where we at with it, you put your heart and your passion into this and watch what it do, because a lot of people, they be training their whole life, from 6 years old to 18 to then make it into the NBA, and then you gotta keep going and keep going. So you don't know when it's going to happen, but you got to be prepared when the opportunity presents itself, and that's what we doing. That's what we encourage you to be, preparing yourself. The preparation can't be skipped. So for when the opportunity comes, when this thing happens, are you going to stand? He said, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High and Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. That's what we trying to obtain, you know? We try to get that promised prize, man. You know? We got to reach the end of the race. All right? It says, let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if anything be thing ye be otherwise minded, the Most High shall reveal even this unto you. Nevertheless, whereto, hopefully you get it. You know, hopefully the Most High reveal, like, yo, snap out of it. You know? Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule, let us mind the same mind. Because we all got to abide by these same, principles. This is just what it is. That's how Yahweh Shah laid the blueprint already, man. We ain't changing nothing. You know? But when you run in that race, you face that fatigue, that different obstacles make you want to stop. You know? That you're going to encounter. It's going to happen. Then you lean on these things, man. Okay? James 1. It says, testing your faith. James, a servant of the Most High and the Lord, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. You know, and this is who we talking to when we do these videos, man. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. So you got to go through these things so that you are built up for when it takes place, man. Okay. That's it, man. You know, this thing is like a race, and it requires that same dedication, that same discipline and perseverance that you need to become great. And any other thing that this world might think is great, you know, how much more so this? You got to put the time in, you know. You can't just treat this as, or you only shorten yourself, you only deceiving yourself, you know. So we got to commit ourselves to this, man. And it's about finishing, right? This is Matthew 10. And verse 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved. So we got to endure until the end. And that's how you're going to be saved, man. A lot of people want to get mad at us. But we just telling you, like, yo, you deceiving yourself if you think you're already saved, man. I don't think you really understand what you're saying. Do you know what you got to get through? You know you gotta keep your faith. You can't draw back into the world. You can't lean on the help of Egypt. None of that in that time. You gonna have to stand up, and you gonna have to make a decision. Because again, all these things matter. The MOTB, the famine of the word, the persecute, all of it. You know. Anyways, what I say? Hebrews 10. Shoot. Yeah. Hebrews 10 and 38. Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in them. So you stop, you quit. The Lord ain't going. He ain't rocking with you, man. Don't get it twisted. You know. And if he draws back, I have no pleasure in him. It says, if you turn away, it says, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of our souls. So if you believe, keep going. Do this. You can make it through. The Lord gave us the tools, you know. So that's pretty much it, you know. That's pretty much what I wanted to touch on. So run that ye may obtain, man. You know, keep up the intensity. All right. And when we go through these things, we know it's a part of it, but it's building us up. So for that day, because we don't even know, man, we can read it, but when it takes place, all we can trust on is the work that we put in at the end of the day, right? So do all you can to stand. The Lord's will, Till the next one, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash, and I want to say Shalom.